I think paralegals play such an important role, and even more so female paralegals. They are often, a lot of them are based in communities. They've had immense amounts of experience, and some of them have had formal training, and they are just the point where a community can really speak to justice issues to someone that's right there. For them, it might be inaccessible for them to go to a lawyer, not really affordable, but this actually really helps them to be able to move whatever case they have. So just in terms of taking justice to the people or to the community, it's really important, and especially for women who really sacrifice quite a lot, because not only do they have families and they have roles, huge roles to play within the family sort of system, but they often are the people, the paralegals that give up the most. That would be able to give up sort of their last 50 Rand, their last 10 Rand to make sure that someone's documents are copied, or someone is able to go from one point to another, to take a taxi to, for example, go to the SASSA office to seek help. So to have paralegals and be able to receive legal advice, especially in communities, it really helps actually bringing justice to the people. That's what I would agree with, yeah. There's a bit of a gap for women paralegals, but also the young female black paralegals. I think it's not as, what's the word? It's not as, it doesn't look like something you want to do. It doesn't look as appealing to go into this sector, in this position. So a lot of young people are not really looking into going into civil society, into this section. There are more aspirations that people have now. But for those who are in the sector currently, it's something that they have to put a lot of things on hold for, because there's a lot of sacrifices that they have to make. They're not really paid very well, especially if they work for smaller organizations. They often have to sacrifice quite a lot, time, sometimes doing work voluntarily for very long periods of time. And then letting themselves sort of go out or behind, and putting the community before themselves. And that's really what the heart of a paralegal is, to really make sure that the communities are served and okay before themselves, and really bettering and forwarding themselves in the sector. But for women in general, it's a lot of older women as well in the sector, because this paralegal system has, like, in communities, has come on a very, very long time. So there are very like stalwarts and older people who are part of the sector and of the work at this moment. So if you find little organizations, you'll see that there are women who are like 50, 60 years old who are still in that sector and still want to continue to do that work. But the support for them and sort of the growth of them is lacking a little bit, yeah. So actually for the Black Sash's work, it was really, in the beginning, it was one-on-one advice giving. So we have actually sort of moved away from that. For us, it's now more educating communities and equipping them to be able to do this work. So for us as paralegal field workers, the emphasis on field workers, because we go into the field and do a lot of work in communities. So like getting into the office, there's a lot of like communication with community partners who do this work. So sometimes we actually have clients coming into the office, and then we have to spend some time with them. The Black Sash has a national helpline where people can call into and receive like advice, and they are referred to like wherever they need to go if they have a particular problem. I always wanted to get to a point where I actually feel that there was real tangible change that was made within the community. Specifically, I think the SASSA issue and unlawful deductions is quite huge. I think we've made a lot of headway, but there's still a few concerns, of course, going into like the new payment system and how that lies ahead. But I think I wanted to sort of take a section and look at it and pursue doing a master's in that regard, because I think like I'm at an advantage because I have a lot of experience with it now, so I can look at it from a viewpoint of a particular section or particular topic and be able to speak like not only from experience but from a research point of view of how that's been happening. Actually, we participated in sort of almost a week-long project with provincial parliament, looking at the 16 days of activism as well. And I think, like everyone says, we wished it was 365 days of activism. I think violence against women and children, it's a huge concern for our country because it just rises every year, and it's very difficult to deal with because either the person is really afraid of speaking out, or they're really dependent on the male character that is doing this abuse. But I think for women, it's about empowering them to speak out and to really speak up and be able to identify where they can go to find like a refuge, or to find someone to listen to them. So to move towards a place where we can actually support fully women, but we need men to be involved. So not only the woman's voice speaking for their issues, but actually the people that are mostly involved in it is not really heard. So those who are out there, or men as well, would like to support the cause. I think the men's voice needs to be uplifted more, and they need to be more present so that they can also sort of speak to their fellow guys and men and be like, this is not right, this is not something that we should allow to continue anymore. So just to draw support not only from women who really want to stand up for this, but also men to become more involved and actually speak up to the issue. I think if there's like a united sort of initiative around that from men and women, then there would be a way for this not to be a normal occurrence, and for it to just become something that is completely unacceptable and that does not happen anymore.